Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. So today's video is going to be Lesley's talking hands because I'm going to film my entire coffee table book collection, and I figured there's no point in me showing my face because it's all about the books that I'm about to talk to you about. What you're seeing on the screen right now is only a small portion of my collection, which I guess this video also serves as kind of a wake-up call to stop buying coffee table books, but I'll let you be the judge of that. I'm going to go through my luxury related ones, so we have Dior right here, Chanel, Hermès, but I also have some like more general fashion related ones, some travel ones, and yeah, a good variety. I'm definitely going to include timestamps for this video, so if there's only one particular brand that you're interested in, or only the travel related coffee table books, for example, you can hover over the lower part of the video and click on the chapter of the video that you're interested in. And also I'm going to try to link to every single book that I'm talking about in this video in the description box below. So yeah, before I ramble on any further, because chances are this video will be on the longer side of things to begin with, because I'm also going to include some flick-throughs through some of the books, because yeah, it might be interesting for some of you if you're considering in particular like the more expensive ones like this one, if you want to see what's actually inside the book, if you want to read it or take a look at the pictures. I think giving you a glimpse of what's actually inside the book is pretty helpful. So I'm going to keep the intro short, but if you're new here, hi, my name is Lesley. I'm so glad to have you here. I upload every Wednesday on a range of different topics, mostly luxury handbags, but also other luxury goods, some fashion sprinkled throughout, and yeah, a range of different topics. And if that sounds like your thing, I would love for you to consider subscribing. And also give this video a thumbs up, that would really help me out a lot. So starting with Hermès, I have two coffee table books from Hermès, but we're going to start with this one, the Hermès Scarf, History and Mystique by Nadine Coleno. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but chances are I'm not. It comes with a dust jacket. I keep it on because, as you can see, the book itself looks nondescript and definitely less colorful than the actual cover. And basically, as the title of the book would suggest, this book is all about the Hermès silk scarves. It goes into the history. Here you can see the contents of the book. A bit of history, but also, for the most part, this book definitely showcases a lot of different scarf designs over the years, and also goes into detail about the history and the design process behind some of the designs. And it's definitely a book to just flick through because there's not that much text. For the most part, it's just beautiful pictures of the scarf designs. And I talked to someone on Instagram a while back. She actually bought this book twice and kept one in pristine condition for display purposes, and the second one, actually, she cut out some of the pages of of her favorite scarf designs and framed them, which I think is quite a nice idea because obviously these scarf designs are definitely a work of art, and there's a huge variety of scarf designs to choose from, and the framing idea is such a fun idea. So if you have like a spare wall or anything like that and spare cash to buy this book twice, again, links to everything will be in the description box below. I can't remember off the top of my head how much this book was, but as it's quite a hefty book and there's a lot of artwork and color printing involved, it wasn't the cheapest. But if you have a spare wall and you're a fan of Hermès scarf designs, this might be an idea for you. And the second Hermès coffee table book in my collection is quite a recent one. I don't know if it's a recent publication or if it's just something I found out about quite recently, but this is basically, I think, from the official illustrator of Hermès that illustrates some of their holiday cards, for example, or basically just in between appreciation cards that Hermès sends out to some of their clients. So it's really simple in design, but also so cute, and usually accompanied with like cute little text or like jokes and stuff. Really cute and really recognizable if you know these kind of gift cards that Hermès sometimes sends out, which I don't think I've ever received one of those, but I'm not a regular Hermès client. Next off is Louis Vuitton, and I have 3 books, like 1 actual coffee table books and 2 smaller ones, so I'm gonna quickly flick through those. As most of you may know, Louis Vuitton has these travel guide books, and I got one for San Francisco because I spent a couple of months there a few years back. So yeah, that's great. They usually come in nicer colors, so every city that they do, and they do a huge variety of cities, comes in a different color. It just so happened that the San Francisco one comes in this like, yeah, dirty beige, yellow, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It wasn't about the color, it was more about the city for me, but they have Milan, Paris and all that. So yeah, that's great. And also this cutie right here. This was only like 14 or like 15 euros. It's about the foundation Louis Vuitton, which is, I think, outside of Paris. Yeah, I guess it is because there's the Eiffel Tower. And yeah, a little about the structure and the architecture behind the building. I have to admit, I haven't looked through this book yet, so I can't talk about the contents itself, but it appears that there's a good variety of both text and also pictures. So that's number 2. And now for the real deal coffee table book that I have from Louis Vuitton. This is quite a big one, as you might be able to tell. Really, really heavy, and obviously, yeah, so many pages. This is the Birth of Modern Luxury from Louis Vuitton, and I love this handle detail. Obviously it's like only printed on, but with the shadowing and stuff, it almost looks like you could grab it. The outside looks a little more interesting than the Hermès scarf one, because at least you have this like embossed Louis Vuitton. It's actually, what is it, like embossed? Debossed, like it goes inside the cover page. And this book is definitely more of a book that you can actually, yeah, read and spend a lot of time reading through the book, because obviously there are a lot of pictures that showcase the history, but there's also a lot of text and so much information about the heritage of the brand, and yeah, how Louis Vuitton came to be the brand that it is today, where they came from with their trunk making and then venturing into handbags and stuff. So yeah, super fascinating, in particular when you're a fan of the brand. There's just so much knowledge in this book, and I highly recommend checking this out. I think you can, of course, buy it on the Louis Vuitton website. I purchased it off of Amazon. I want to say it was a little cheaper, otherwise I don't know why I wouldn't have bought it online from Louis Vuitton, but yeah, you can buy it from both places, and I highly recommend checking this out, both for like display purposes, because it's obviously a super beautiful book, but also if you're interested in the history and yeah, everything around Louis Vuitton. So highly recommend checking this one out. Next off is Dior, and as you can see, I have 2 Dior books, one tiny little one and one big mama, but yeah, we're gonna quickly flick through what this book is about. It's called The Little Book of Dior, and it's, I guess, part of a series, because I also have The Little Book of Chanel, and I think there's also The Little Book of Prada and a couple of other brands. But yeah, this is the one that I have, and it's also, yeah, talking about the, yeah, as you can see, the early life, some of the history of the brand and how it's evolved throughout the decades. And yeah, I have to admit, I haven't actually read through this book, but it's definitely on my to-do list, and it was really cheap too, as you can see, like around £13, which I think I must have paid like 15, 16 euros on Amazon. As for my second Dior book, this is one that I think a lot of people in the luxury community own, but also like people who are into interior design and use like accent coffee table books to accessorize their homes. And I mean, look at, I think it's called lenticular. When you move it, the picture kind of changes, and it's like this, can you hear it? This kind of strange surface, but yeah, that's, even the cover page is so beautiful, and it doesn't come with a dust jacket. It's just basically the book as it is. And I have to admit, I'm also one of those people who only use this book for display purposes, because it's just so pretty. Also the spine, if you stack the books, it's just so pretty. But yeah, it's definitely a book that I also want to take a look at, like in terms of what it's actually saying on the inside. And here you can see the MSRP is like £50, so I guess I paid like 60, 65 euros, don't quote me on it. Again, links will be below. It's also, I wouldn't say super wordy, but there's definitely, apart from beautiful pictures, a lot of talk about the history and yeah, how the brand has evolved. And oh wow, I mean, look at those colors. Oh, I want to go to Paris. Not sure about the fur coat, but definitely sure about loving the Eiffel Tower. And yeah, this book is so beautiful, and I definitely have to slot in some time to actually go through this book and read through the pages, because there's, I guess there would be a lot of very interesting information that maybe I wouldn't have known before, because I mean, I do love Dior, but I don't own any Dior bags. And yeah, I'm really interested in the brand itself. So yeah, this is the second Dior book that I have. Next off is Chanel. So I have 3 Chanel books, starting with this cutie. As I said, I own the Little Book of Chanel, similar to the Little Book of Dior. They're basically the same like design, layout, obviously different authors, but the idea of the book is the same. And also this one was pretty affordable. Like, I don't know why they display the British pounds on there, because I'm not in England, but oh well. And yeah, as I mentioned, they also have a Little Book of Prada and maybe Gucci, don't quote me on that. Such a cute book. Obviously the black and white is super iconic, and the spine is also beautiful if you decide to stack your coffee table books. So yeah, definitely a book that I did flick through a couple of times. I haven't actually read it, but it's mostly, or like for the majority, there is some text involved, but I think the focus for this book is definitely on the picture. So super cute, and definitely a pretty affordable coffee table book. And next off, I think this actually came with a dust jacket, but I don't know, I kind of misplaced it. But even without the dust jacket, it looks super pretty. This is the Vogue on Coco Chanel, and I don't even know if it's in English or in German. Let me check. Looks English, perfect, because the next one isn't, but I'm sure this one also comes in an English version. Yeah, this one was a present from a friend of mine, I think, or from my parents, I can't even remember, but yeah, also very pretty. Another one that I haven't really looked through. I really have to get into actually reading my coffee table books, because considering that some of these aren't particularly cheap, it would be a shame for me to not actually use them to their full potential, as in not just using them for display purposes, but also, yeah, actually reading them. This is the biggest Chanel coffee table book that I have, and this is definitely from a friend of mine for a birthday like a couple of years ago. And as I said, it's in German, but I'm very sure that they also came out with this book in English. But yeah, I can't really talk about the actual contents because I haven't read this one again, but I mean, the pictures themselves are stunning. On the topic of Chanel, let's continue with my Megan Hess books. Most of you may know Megan Hess because she's a super famous like fashion illustrator, and I have one Coco Chanel book from Megan Hess. It might be their only like Chanel related one, but don't quote me on that. She definitely has a lot more books that she has come out with, but yeah, these are the 4 that I own. And I mean, this is definitely a book you buy for like the aesthetic. So beautiful, and obviously it's also very pretty, like stacked. Let me quickly wait a second. There we go. For example, if you stack it and lay it on top of like a coffee table or like a sideboard, just so pretty. So yeah, this is the Chanel one, and I also own the New York Through a Fashion Eye. Again, look at that, like rose gold. I can't. Anyway, again, similar style of illustration, of course, and yeah, a lot of New York City specific like landmarks and style, just absolutely fabulous. So yeah, definitely need to add a couple of Megan Hess books, because yeah, as I said, she definitely has a lot more than just the 4 that I own. And again, the Paris one, also beautiful with this rose gold. I really want to go back to Paris. Yeah, and these are quite affordable as well. Doesn't say the price on here, but I'd say they are around like 15 to 20 euros, which I think for a like hardcover book is quite reasonable. Plus, I mean, it's just so pretty. And this is a super thin one. I wasn't expecting it to be that thin, but yeah, I think I just didn't look at the page count. It's more of a children's book, which I also didn't realize. Oh, and look, it's like gold foiled, whereas these are rose gold foiled. the attention to detail. Yeah, this is, I mean, still luxury related, and like you have the Louis Vuitton trunk right here and fashion books, and yeah, but it's definitely a children's book, but super cute nonetheless. So that's my Megan Hess collection. Next off are a couple of luxury and handbag related books that I wasn't able to group into any particular category, so we're gonna whiz through them. And this one is so fun. Also kind of a children's book, but also kind of not. If you're a 90s kid, you might know these books. I think they were called like Where's Wally? Those were books with these kind of crowds of people, and you were supposed to spot out where Wally was. I think he was wearing a red and white striped or blue and white striped sweater and like a beanie. In this book, obviously, you are supposed to find Karl, which is so fun, and definitely, yeah, an interactive coffee table book. Next off is another handbag related book, and this is basically, yeah, a book that goes through some of the major luxury handbag brands. Obviously you have like your regulars like Chanel, Burberry, Versace, but also like off the beaten path ones like Charlotte Wasberg, never heard of her, or like Erwa, the one below Hermès again, Isaac Rayner. So yeah, it's super interesting to learn about brands that like aren't that known, I guess. So yeah, this is like sorted by the alphabet, but as I mentioned, it includes some of the lesser known brands. Obviously Loewe is a known one, but Liberty of London, isn't that like a department store? I wasn't aware that they actually have their own handbags, but yeah, Vivienne Westwood, Versace, as I said. Here's the list of brands that this book features again, but yeah, also a pretty affordable one, again, for some reason in British pounds, but oh well. So it would have been like 12 or 13 euros, which is super affordable for a book of this size and dimension. So yeah, really interesting and a little different because it features some of the lesser known brands. And the last one in this like fashion, handbag and miscellaneous category is another big one. It's basically a little smaller in dimensions than the Dior one, but still a pretty sizable one, like in comparison, my hand, and I have pretty big hands. Yeah, it's basically, again, a lot, oh my God, wow. What a page to start off the book with. Yeah, definitely about the iconic bags and a lot of like handbag history, I guess, but also, this is called the Manta clutch, isn't it? I don't think they produce it anymore, but I have a couple of Manta clutches from Alexander McQueen on my like watch or favorite list on Vestia Collective. I don't know why suddenly, like out of nowhere, this bag really speaks to me. Plus, I'm not even a clutch person. But I mean, currently you can get them for like 100, 150 euros, which is amazing. And I mean, it could take a gamble and say maybe in like 2 or 3 years time they'll be all the rage again, and it will be similar to, for example, the Dior saddlebag, where at some point a couple of years ago you were able to pick them up for like 200, 300 euros, and now they have skyrocketed because the brand has brought the design back. But yeah, who knows? I mean, as soon as Mel Soldera, for example, would mention that she has a feeling that the Manta clutch would come back, I would definitely jump on it, because she has definitely a talent of predicting bags that are about to have a comeback. But yeah, for now it would just be a gamble. And yeah, I don't know, let me know what you think about the Manta clutch. Yeah, anyway, super interesting book and yeah, very inspiring. Oh my God, look at this Kelly. I can't. So pretty. Anyway, yeah, before I gush any more about the beautiful bags that are featured in this book, I mean, the interior is so pretty. I'm not that much of a fan of the, yeah, like dust jacket because it's a little too bold and colorful. I don't have anything against the Celine trapeze bag, but the color combination, I mean, not that keen about it, and the actual book itself has the same trapeze bag on there, but oh well, I'm able to look past that for the amazing contents of the book. The next category of books is basically the category of interior. Instagram made me buy it. This one isn't really like an interior book to begin with, but it's definitely one that I've seen on so many like interior pages, again, as a coffee table book or like as a display in your walk-in wardrobe, for example, because it's just so aesthetically pleasing from the outside. The inside, I haven't really taken a look at, to be honest. It's apparently about style, which I would have been able to gather from the title of the book, but yeah. And the second book, again, a really popular one because of the spine in particular, but also the outside cover is just so pretty. But contrary to the previous one, this book is actually about interior, and I just love flicking through interior books because obviously I do get a lot of inspiration from Instagram, as I said, but sometimes it's just nice to pick up a book and get inspired that way. And the last category of books, the travel related one. I have two New York City ones, one San Francisco one, and this one is from Lonely Planet. As you might be able to tell, or as I might have mentioned, I'm such a fan of New York City. I've been there 3 times. My first time was over 10 years ago at this point. We went there over like the 4th of July weekend. But yeah, before I ramble on any further, this is like just a book of, oh my god, wow, look at that. I mean, New York City definitely has my heart, and the last time I went was in early 2017, so 5 years ago at this point, and I really want to go back, but traveling hasn't been the easiest thing over the last couple of years, so I'm really grateful that I did manage to go to New York City a couple of times already. And yeah, I just love flicking through these books, and sometimes I actually recognize some of the buildings that are featured on here, which is also so fun. And yeah, I mean, New York City is just such a dreamy city. Obviously, I'm looking at it from a tourist perspective. If you live there, I guess there's a lot of stuff that isn't too glamorous, starting with the housing prices. But yeah, from a tourist perspective, I just love the city to pieces. And as I mentioned, I went to San Francisco and spent a couple of months there a few years back. And I mean, in comparison, I definitely prefer New York City, but I'm so thankful that I got to experience San Francisco as well. But yeah, those 3 are the city-specific ones, plus obviously the San Francisco Louis Vuitton city guide, but I already showed you that. And these type of books, this one again, as I said, is from Lonely Planet, but there are a lot of different types of books of this type, I guess. It's basically a countdown or a roundup of places that you should see or that are like really beautiful. Some of them are definitely hidden gems, and some of them are really known travel destinations. And wow, I mean, definitely, for me at least, more destinations that I could ever imagine to visit all in one lifetime, unless I become a travel influencer, which probably won't happen. But still, I really enjoy flicking through this book and getting inspired, and also really getting triggered and wanting to book a vacation as soon as possible. But with the current situation, it's still a little bit up in the air. But anyway, I guess that does it for today's video. I hope this video wasn't too long, and yeah, even if it was, maybe it was helpful nonetheless, especially like showing you what's actually inside the coffee table books, because they are not just for display and for the cover and the spine looking beautiful, but also if you're interested in the contents. I hope this video gave you a bit of an idea of what to expect when you buy some of these books. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. That would help me out a lot. As I said, I upload every Wednesday, and I would love to have you back. Bye.